Hey everybody, welcome back. I'm out here in my hot garage tonight. Of course, it would be hot anywhere. It'd be hot in my shop too if I was out there. But looks like we already got a good crowd. Let's see. I haven't blown the chat up here. Let me do that right quick. Well, Javi, you got it in front of you, don't you?
Absolutely. Let's see.
Let's do a roll call and see who we got out there.
All right, sure. We got Andrew Haig, Steve Nealon from Harneal Media, Jeff Connor, Jeff Wilder, Jeffrey Bonifield, Jim Ridgway, Keith Allen, Landis Stutz, Mark Lindsay, Raymond Dixon, Ron Cleveland, Jim Sinicola with Totally Woodworks, Sean Draper, Neil Shafto. People are popping up right and left here. Martha Jackson, Frankie's here. Who did I miss? Charlie Steed, Jason Owens. Now that you went live, I can't keep up.
Yeah, well, as soon as you say roll call, everybody wants to put something in there too. So,
yep.
Thank you all for tuning in tonight. Don't really have anything special to talk about. Just going to kind of do just a general discussion about CNC stuff or whatever y'all want to talk about. So we tried to do last week. We tried to do. I was going to answer somebody's question, and it turns out they weren't even watching, and so far I haven't seen them on here tonight either. So the question, I think I probably said it last week, but the question was somebody was wanting me to. That's kind of freaky looking when I see myself in that picture right there. There. Now it doesn't look so creepy. But no, the question was somebody wanted me to show them how to take, I guess, like from an idea and how to get it, to the computer and programmed and blah, 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 blah. And there's already lots of videos about stuff like that. I've talked about it before, and most of it you can learn from this book right here. I keep pushing this book here, but this thing is just super awesome. So again, I've got a link down in the description. If any of y'all haven't bought this, I know a bunch of you already have. And I'm going to keep pushing it till George Vondriska tells me he's sold out. Because that is a fantastic book. So let's just get started. Anybody got any questions about anything?
Everybody's basically saying hello. By the way, I've posted your link on the chat here. Okay. So to the book, carved by number.
Andrew Haig, I see him in the chat there. Andrew, thank you for the link you gave me on Facebook for the filament. I got 3 rolls of that stuff coming. In fact, it's going to be here tomorrow. I ordered it on Amazon. And you know how they are. You order it on Friday, they'll deliver it Sunday. So it should be here tomorrow. So thank you for that link. Jim Bashir's, I think, confirmed that that's some good stuff, and a couple of other people. So I'm anxious to try that out. I think, you know what, I'm sitting and wondering what's up in the chat. I think I didn't hit that arrow. And it's
yeah, they're all talking about you making George sell too many books.
Yeah, I'd like to see him sell out because I'm like, well, I see Jeremy Kitchens. I think that's Jay Kitchens. I think that's Jeremy. So it's got my copy of the book. Awesome. I haven't seen anybody that said they got the book that said, "Oh, this isn't as good as you said it was," or it's not.
Yeah, it's a fantastic book.
Yeah. I see Ron Cleveland in the chat. I want to give him a big shout out too. For those of you who maybe haven't been following me as long as some of you, I just looked it up a little while ago. Last June 24th, back when I was doing the Saturday night CNC with Dave show, Ron Cleveland came on as my guest, and we talked about CNC stuff, and he really enlightened me on 3D printing. And I I think it's the exact same printer that Ron showed. I've had it in my Amazon wish list ever since then, so almost a year. But I ended up getting one. I did not buy that one. I got a different one. But yeah, I'm hooked now. He was just saying it when I said something about that film. He said, "Yeah, it won't. You'll go through it pretty quick."
So, Dave, have you made anything on the new 3D printer yet?
I have, as a matter of fact. Nothing real exciting just yet. But here's what I've done. Well, if you watched Facebook earlier, I posted a video, and I got to say, let me just, if we're going to talk about that, let me just say I bought a Creality. It's like Realty, only with a C in front of it. I hope I'm saying it right. Creality CR10 is what I bought. And if you want to see what they look like, I have links down in the show description of a couple of different models that they sell. But that's what I ended up getting. It came yesterday and kind of caught me off guard. That's why I didn't already have some filament here, is because the original tracking information said it wouldn't be here till Monday, so I didn't bother ordering any filament right away. And now I wished I had, because it ended up coming yesterday afternoon. The thing takes like 30 minutes to put together, because a lot of it's kind of already pre-assembled. Somebody on Facebook, I can't remember who it was, asked if I was going to do an unboxing video, and I said no, because you go look on YouTube, there's like a couple hundred of them, and they all look the same. I mean, they all come in the same box, same, there's just nothing exciting about the unboxing. And like I said, you can have put together in probably 30 minutes or less. But they send a little sample, a little small sample of some white PLA. And I got it all together, and I got the bed level stuff, and I'm checking it out and make sure it's heating up and doing all this stuff. And I'm like, all right, let me put in that little SD card and see what kind of, sample files they've got on there. Plus, I'd already had some stuff I'd got from Thingiverse since I knew it was on the way here. But anyway, so I started playing around with that, and I didn't have any luck at all. I thought, oh, great, what have I got myself into? I've got something here. It's going to be a major headache to get going. So I fooled around with it a little bit. I mean, it seemed to print fine, but it'd go a little bit, and then it would pop off the glass, pop off the bed. So I'm like, well, I'm tired. I'm going to go ahead and go to bed. I get up in the morning, give me some coffee, try it again. So anyway, so I kind of had the same thing going on. It's like every time it would get to printing a little bit, it would come loose from the bed. And finally, it dawned on me that, it's so hot here in Georgia now. We got up into the 90s, I think, today, that the air conditioner keeps coming on and off. So I'm thinking that what was happening is every time that air conditioner would kick on, the vent that's in the ceiling in that room, you know how the vents are. They have one that kind of angles that way, one that way, and then one out in the middle. Well, I'm thinking, because even when I was sitting in the chair in front of watching it, I could feel the air conditioner kick on. So I thought, well, maybe it's just cooling it off too quick and, making where it won't stick. So I went and got a ladder and took some of that masking tape that they send with it, and I actually used it to block part of that vent. And then it did a little better. I thought I had it whooped, and I thought, all right, I'm getting my first good print. This is it. And so I took a little video with my phone, and I posted it to Facebook. And what you see it making this little guy right here. But notice that he's missing something, because it was just like clockwork. About time I posted that video to Facebook and turned around, this popped off the bed. And I'm like, well, that's, or something to that effect. So anyway, so I thought, well, let me just get the ladder. I'm going to get up there and I'm going to close that vent. So then I closed the vent and ran it a second time. And then I finally got my first official 3D print. I don't know. Let me see if I can get close enough. I don't know how good that thing will focus in. But it's got robot. This is a file from Thingiverse. It's called the Maker Faire Robot. On the back there, again, you probably can't see it because it's white. But on the back here, it says, I think it says Maker. Yeah, I think it says Maker. And then on the front, he's just got a big M. I think you can maybe make out the M.
Jeff Connor's asking what size is the printing size?
It's 300 by 300 millimeters, which is just a hair under 12 inches, by 400 millimeters tall, which is just a hair under 16, about 15 3/4 or something. So anyway, that was my first official print. So after I got that done, I was feeling pretty good about that. So then I just basically started running some little add-on things that people put on their machines. I watched a video, but I don't know if you guys heard of Ronald Walters. He's an older gentleman out in, I want to say Oklahoma or somewhere. But he's the one that has the really popular video of that marble machine that I have done the drawings for the wheels and the gears and stuff for that. But anyway, he had done an unboxing and review video of this same model 3D printer that I bought. And really, that's what sold me when he got it. Because this guy, he's a smart guy, but he said in the video, he says, I have never done a CNC anything. No router, no printer, no anything. And he'd had it like 3 weeks, and then he was showing some of the stuff he printed. And I thought, man, that's a pretty nice printer then. I want one like this. But anyway, so this is just a little, some of you guys that have 3D printers probably already know what this stuff is, but this is just a little thing that Ron had setting on his shaft of his extruder, and it's just so you can actually see that it's turning and moving the right way. One of the things that's kind of a pain in the butt with that particular printer is the little knobs for the leveling feet are they're real small. So when you're trying to, there's one on each corner of the bed. So when you're trying to level that, it's hard to, just not enough to get a hold of. So I printed some of these bigger knobs, and this just kind of, the knob that's on there fits right inside here. So you take the other one off, poke it in, and then you have this bigger knob that you can get a hold of. And these, these are all in just that crummy white PLA. I'm going to redo these. I was just playing around today just to see if I could.
Yeah, Ron Cleveland was saying earlier that he uses Aquanet hairspray to secure the pieces on.
Yeah, I actually did have to. Well, I didn't have any Aquanet, but there was some. I forget some other brand of hairspray. It wasn't Aquanet, but I'm planning on a trip to the dollar store tomorrow to get me a couple of cans of that Aquanet, because the other stuff, it worked pretty good too. But between and I tell you what, well, let me just keep going here on some of the stuff. So I did this. I did the little this little thing, and then the last print that I did today. And this is something that Ron Walters had on his. And this is just a little cover. And it's kind of cool because, and again, I hope you can see this. I don't know if you're going to be able to. Yeah, there we go.
Yep. Beard saver.
Beard saver. And like at the front of the machine, you know, there's like a belt that runs right in the middle of the machine that moves the table back and forth. And I guess if you had a beard and weren't paying attention, duck your head down, you can snatch it up in that roller. But so this is just a little thing. And of course it has beard saver on one side, and then it's got CR10 on the other side. So, and again, I'm not crazy about this white, so I'm going to end up reprinting a lot of this stuff. I'm getting some black, some silver metal color, and some orange, believe it or not. Imagine that.
A couple people were just saying they use, well, let's see, Clear Elmer's glue sticks and things like that. They're having their own little discussion on.
Yeah. I tell you, there's probably, I mean, there's a lot of stuff I haven't tried because I just got started doing this. But there's nothing that I haven't already seen on a YouTube video, because before I made my purchase, I'm not kidding, guys, I have watched more YouTube videos than I'm wanting to admit to, because I just didn't want to be one of them guys that, because I don't know what I'm doing, I get one and then everybody goes, oh no, that you shouldn't have bought that one, that one's junk. So I have watched, I mean, literally hundreds of videos about the CR10 and the CR10S, which is like the next model up. And there's hardly any videos out there where they, you know, they don't say it's, you know, not any good. Everybody's bragging on it, bragging about how good it prints right out of the box and stuff like that. And I mean, this, you know, I feel pretty good about it, especially after that. That's, I mean, the camera probably doesn't do it justice, but it's a really nice print. And this, I don't even know what I'm doing yet. So I basically watched a guy who did, showed what settings he uses for his Cura, Ultimaker Cura software. That's what I'm using because it's free, for one. And so I thought, well, let me get it. So I watched his video and kind of duplicated his settings. And basically that's what I'm using, other than taping off my vent. And when it really started doing good, when I printed this was the last thing I printed. I think one reason why I got such a great print on this one is I had the vent completely closed off and I closed that bedroom door. So you can imagine, is, you know, being in a room with no AC with the door closed, it got pretty toasty in there. And that seems to be a big plus to getting these things to run really nice, is they like it toasty.
Yeah, a lot of people create little enclosures, and a lot of them have enclosures.
Yeah. But like I said, I think when I was watching, I don't know, maybe y'all know Michelle Sleeper.
Yep.
She was on somebody's show. I don't know whether it was Russell Clarity's or I can't remember whose show it was.
But yeah, anyway, I was on that panel and I forgot.
Yeah, I remember watching that show, and I remember her saying that a lot of times you'll be able to tell where the layer, by looking at the layers, when the air conditioner kicked on. And when I kept having trouble getting that to stick today, that came back in my mind, and I'm like, I'm wondering if it's that air conditioner. So, like I said, actually, when I printed this first little guy, well, after the failed first little guy, this one only takes about 22, 23 minutes or something to print, which is why I picked it as my first thing, is because I knew it wouldn't take that long. But I actually just turned the whole house AC off so it wouldn't run. And then when that ran so nice, I'm like, okay, I got to turn the AC back on, but let me block that vent.
You have a heated table on yours, or not? A heated base?
Yes. It's got the heated bed with the little, there's some little insulation piece underneath it. It all gets the temperature and holds, you know, just fine. This piece here took about an hour and 37 minutes, I think, for that. I wasn't running it real fast. That's the other thing I did do too, is I slowed it down just a bit. I think I was running at 40 inches a minute with a nozzle temperature of 200 and a bed temperature of 60. And like I said, that turned out really nice.
Yeah, I remember Michelle talking about the different types of plastics as well. She said that with ABS, you just walk by it, and just the breeze of you walking by will crack the thing.
Well, that's the other thing too. That's one reason why when I closed the door, because you know, with me sitting in there, the dogs kept coming in there and they're wagging their tails and stuff, and I'm like, any little breeze they create, you know, I'm like, I don't want it to pop off. So between the hairspray and putting the you know, blocking that vent off, and then, you know, like I said,
Ron was asking what's your layer height?
0.2, I think it was 0.2 millimeter. Like I said, I kind of this guy that I watched his video, and I can't remember let's see if I can remember what his.
Oh, and by the way, Wood Bucket was asking when the Gatton 3D printer will be coming out.
Don't hold your breath. I tell you what, though, I've had such a great time today, especially once I finally kind of thought, oh, well, maybe it's the AC doing it. Once you know, it's fun to do this stuff. I can see why everybody likes to do it. But one thing I do want to say about 3D printers, and I know we've got some folks watching out there that have them, so I might get in trouble saying this. But, you know, like I said, I watched tons and tons and tons of videos. A lot of these guys that are well-known YouTubers got, you know, 100 to 200, 300,000 or more subscribers, you know, well-known things. And they get there, you know, you see a video and they've got like 10 of these 3D printers, and they haven't bought a single one of them because the companies will send them to them and they do the reviews and, you know, all that stuff. And I get that. But even the other guys, every video I watched, or almost every video I watched, they talk about all this cool stuff they make. And then they're holding up stuff like, you know, stuff like this, or a Star Wars thing, or a, you know, Falcon Millennial, or, you know, or something. And I'm like, where are the people that use these things to make something useful? You know, like I say, if anybody makes that kind of stuff, probably get mad at me. But that's not what, you know, I didn't buy this thing to make little cool stuff like this. You know, the Star Wars stuff and the Star Trek stuff and the what have you. But every once in a while you'd see a video and somebody would show something that they made, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's actually got a purpose. So I've got several things in mind that I want to make, which is kind of why I went ahead and pulled the trigger on the 3D printer. But it isn't anything that I'm going to make and just set on the shelf. It's something that's going to be useful.
When I think back, I mean, the main reason, as you recounted, the main reason you designed the Gatton CNC is for an economical alternative for all those high-priced industrial machines comparatively. But how can you have an economical alternative to a 3D printer, which is already pretty easily priced, pretty rock bottom priced? I would say. I mean, you can get them for under $200.
I mean, don't get me wrong. There would be guys and they'd hold up their prints and stuff, and I'm like, yeah, it's beautiful the way it turned out and all that. But it'd be like, you know, like a little rocket thing, and even when you go look on Thingiverse, there's a bunch of stuff on there, but it's all knick-knack stuff. I'm trying to be nice here and call it stuff instead of what I'm really thinking. But, you know, to me, I just, you know, that's not why I wanted a 3D printer. I wanted it to be able to design and make something, you know, useful. and I guess in the future you guys are going to see what I come up with. Another reason why I wanted one, like Dixon Hoffman says, I made a beautiful mount for my CNC router. See, that's something you can use. Yeah, trinkets. That's another nice way of calling them something. You know, router mounts. You know, that's a good example. Different kinds of brackets. I saw one guy who had made a like a screwdriver handle, and he had how they have the little multiple things where you can put the different Phillips and straight and torques and all that in it. Something like that that's useful. But yeah, to me, I'm like, I don't get having a 3D printer. We're not talking about kids either. We're talking about grown men who got these things and they're making little piddly stuff. So I don't know. Ron, since you're on there, or if he hadn't got mad and left, what's the coolest or most useful thing you've made with your 3D printer?
Neil, not to change subjects, but Neil was asking about, was telling everybody to be aware, and I don't know if this is just him or not, but be aware of the latest Windows 10 upgrade that's released for April. It kills Mach 3. He can't get his CNC drivers to load. I would imagine that they hopefully will have updated drivers, but
yeah, I saw somebody talking about that on Facebook, and my thoughts on that, as I haven't been shy about saying, I'm a firm believer in you get a computer that you're going to run with your CNC, and you don't put it on the internet. You don't need to update anything.
I'm the same way.
If it's not broke, don't fix it, So I haven't had to worry about that. I saw that on Facebook, and I thought, well, I don't have to worry about it because none of the computers that I use to run my machines are connected to the internet.
Yeah, I've got Windows 7. I can't tell you when it was last updated, running the Colossus, and the Cam Master here is being run with Windows XP. So it's a bit ancient.
Yeah, Ron says he's designed parts for work, even spur gear. So yeah. See, that's the kind of thing I'm thinking about. If you,
yeah.
I mean, I can see if you've got grandkids or something, you want to make them a little something. Yeah, I get that. But like I said, I just watched so many videos, and these guys have shelves lined up with basically crap behind them. I'm like, yeah, that's cool, but what are you going to do with it?
Jim Sinicola said that Mike Chipser has a paper out to remove certain updates for that other subject.
Okay. He might have been the one that I saw posting about that on Facebook.
But yeah, on this subject, I agree with you, Dave. I mean, I like to see cool things. I don't like to see, I can go to a knickknack store and buy those little those little objects. I like to see something, Cyanide Filaments as one of the
Well, just to give you an idea, Ron says also make dust collector hose adapters. That's a perfect use for them.
Yep.
But just to give you an idea, I came out here the other day to run some Gatton CNC kits, and of course I grabbed my, if I can get it off of here. And you put a big magnet on it. Oh, and I can't even get it in the camera shot here. Maybe I can get it. It won't make it. Hold on here.
Tilt the camera over.
There we go.
There you go.
So here's my wonderful speed controller for my VFD that my good buddy Javi made for me. But I came out here and of course, I'm turning it on and stuff, and then I'm like, wonder what that would look like with a plastic enclosure.
Yep.
So, it's just once you have one of these things now, you kind of find things that you can do.
Yep, absolutely.
Another guy that I saw on YouTube, he had small kids and they had slammed his refrigerator and broken some kind of a plastic part off of that. So, you know, he was able to get the part, kind of stick it together, reverse engineer it, draw it up, and 3D print a new one, and, you know, as good as new. So that's the kind of useful things I'm talking about.
Yeah, I'm with Patrick on this. If I had a 3D printer, I'd well, I have one. I'd make things to improve tools and gears and stuff like that.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it doesn't have to always be tools, but I mean, another thing I saw on TV about a week and a half or so ago, the local news had did a story on I don't know what grade they were in, third, fourth, fifth grade or something like that. And there was a little boy in their class, and he was born without, I think it was a right hand. He was born without a right hand. I mean, he had most of his arm, but he was missing the hand. Well, anyway, the kids in his class all got together and said, well, you know, I can't even remember the kid's name, but, you know, they said, well, we'd like to get little, whatever his name was, we'd like to get him a hand. So they talked with some folks, and somebody donated a 3D printer and worked with them, and they actually made this kid a workable hand where he could actually grip stuff. So, I mean, you can't get much better use than something like that. But it was kind of funny though, because in the story, the kid liked to play basketball, but whenever he played basketball, he would take it off because he said he'd already, you know, I don't know how old he was, third, fourth, fifth grade or something like that. He was already so used to, you know, doing without a hand on that arm. So he would take it off to play basketball and then put it back on to do other stuff. But I mean, how cool would that be to be able to make somebody a hand?
Yeah, Keith is asking if 3D printers have material that's see-through like acrylic. I know they have certain materials that are semi-translucent and flexible, but that's you have to print them real thin. I wouldn't be able to answer that question, but probably Ron can.
Well, again, I'm new to all this 3D printing stuff, but I have watched videos where they make stuff that's not completely transparent, but it's pretty, you know, lets a lot of light pass through.
Yeah. There you go. I just saw the posts. Yeah, Ron just said the same thing. It's there are some semi-transparent filaments, but nothing as clear as acrylics. Let's see, prosthetics, Fusion 360. Also, let's see here. Keith Allen was asking, how's the Go CNC review coming? What's that all about?
Well, I'm kind of, I don't know if those guys are watching this. I'm kind of waiting on them. You know, I did the unboxing video, and I started putting it together. And as I started putting it together, when I got towards the end of the assembly pictures, I could tell, like, oh, wait a minute, where's this part? I don't remember seeing this part. So I looked and looked, and I'm like, nope. In fact, I even came in and watched my unboxing video to see if I might have taken it and said something. I'm like, no, I kept everything right there. So I emailed the guy that I've been talking back and forth with, and I said, look, I'm missing the front panel. It's the, you know, the piece that where you mount the e-stop and the power on switch. And I said, I need the one, since you sent me the T-track option, the T-track table. I said, there's two different ones. I need the one for the T-track option. Well, when I sent him the email, I had mentioned that I didn't know whether they failed to pack it, or I did mention that there was a rip in that box and somebody had you know, took some packing tape and kind of patched it up. I mean, the box was in pretty decent shape, but you know, I mean, it came all the way from Germany, so you can imagine it had a few miles on it. But anyway, apparently, I don't know what the German word for cardboard is, but when I said the cardboard box was damaged, he kept sending me an email and he'd say, okay, we'll send you the front panel, but you said the cardboard was damaged too. What's the part number for that? And I'm like, no, I said, I just, so anyway, I think somehow he misunderstood.
Oddly enough, the German word is Karton, spelled with a K.
Okay. Well, anyway, somehow, I guess I wasn't making myself clear. And he thought that I had one thing missing and one thing damaged, when really I was just trying to let him know that, you know, there's a possibility that that could have slipped out of the box and, you know, somebody didn't put it back in before they taped it up and sent it on or whatever. I don't know. But at any rate, I'm missing the front panel. But I have it all together. And in fact, I have already been playing around with it, running program. I say running programs. I'm cutting air because I don't have a router or a spindle for that yet. And I'm hoping that that's why it's taking them so long to send me the front panel. I'm hoping they're sending me the spindle too, because there's, you know, when I agreed to partner with them, you know, they said, well, we just want you to, you know, to try it out, give us an honest opinion, do some, you know, projects with it, let us know what you think. And, you know, in exchange for that, we're going to send you this, and whatever we send you, you know, will be free. So I don't know whether they thought it was going to take me a whole lot longer to put it together than what it did, which it really took me a pretty good while because I didn't get a chance to work on it every day. But yeah, I'll be doing a, well, it's probably going to be a while before I do an actual review as far as how it runs. I do have some comments and suggestions that I plan on doing in a video when I talk about assembly. I've shot a ton of footage, which is another reason why it takes forever to put something together when you have to keep stopping and changing the battery and, you know, doing all that kind of stuff. So
Nathan, to the earlier question about transparency, Nathan Haney was saying that he has some printed models where he creates a mold and then cast with resins that are clear, if you want to go that route. Also, Why Not CNC was saying print a front panel for your 3D printer.
Well, I could, but the for one, I don't even have one to reverse engineer. You know, and I'm not going to spend the time to draw one up when they, you know, I might get one in the mail tomorrow or Monday. I don't know. That's the other thing too. When they told me what they were going to send me originally, which machine, you know, I said, yeah, how about sending me a tracking number when you ship it? You know, that way, in case I have to sign for it or something, which I ended up having to sign for it when it came. You know, I said, I can make sure that I'm here. I said, because I'm here 90% of the time, but you never know when I might be, you know, run to Home Depot or Lowe's or UPS store or lunch or whatever. But it just so happened I was here and it was shipped DHL, but for some reason the mailman did the final leg on it and he had me sign for it. So, you know, I guess if I hadn't been here, I'd had to go to the post office to pick it up or whatever. But
Raymond Dixon earlier was asking, I'm getting an echo. Raymond Dixon earlier was asking if there was a, this is regarding the CNC. Is there a setting to limit the height so it doesn't go above a 1/4 inch beyond the thickness of the board being cut? Yes, there is, Raymond.
What?
I believe he's talking about the clearance of above on a CNC machine? This is a CNC router question.
Okay, so is he talking like in VCarve Pro, how to set
And I would imagine in VCarve Pro, how to set the height. I imagine. I mean, when I first started in CNC, I had this issue about every time my my router bit went up, it went all the way up to go down rather than just across the board.
Yeah.
I'm guessing that's what he meant.
I think VCarve Pro, they may have changed it now, but I think VCarve Pro uses a default of whatever 0.787 is. What is that, 20 millimeters, I think?
Yeah.
And so if you don't change that for your program, that's what it'll do. It'll come up and raise up, you know, over 3/4, and it just makes the cycle time ridiculous.
Yeah.
So most of the time I have mine set to about 200 thousandths.
Yeah, I do the same thing. What I try to do is, oddly enough, sometimes clearances and stuff like that are reset because of different thicknesses of wood. And what I end up doing is I set my my maximum Z height to 0. And the machine itself, I mean, the program itself will default to, it'll give me an error and say it'll default just above my maximum height. And that's what I end up doing for the safe height. And yes, Raymond, I think I guess you're talking about the safe height setting.
Yeah, I usually have now the safe height setting. I usually have mine set at like 1 inch, but that's not what it's doing every time it's moving. That's like if you say you go to start a program over, but you want to, you know, you put in the line number and hit enter, and it'll jump to that line, and you say run from here. Like you want to go back and over a certain part of the program and do it over.
Yeah.
When you hit that thing, mine automatically will be up 1 inch, so that if I forget and left it down, which I've done before,
yeah, it won't tear through the piece.
When you hit that first OK button, it pops up 1 inch, and then it will move and wait for you to hit cycle start again. So, yeah, 0.6 is a pretty good one to use, Patrick.
Yep, I try to go as long as you've got the precision in the machine and your board is flat. I go as like you said, 1/10, 2/10 tops. Because the closer you are to it, without running the risk of scraping the top of the board, you're really reducing the cycle time.
Yeah. You know, I probably should mention this. Of course, they're probably not watching tonight, but because I can't remember who it was. But every once in a while, I get a question about why I doubled up my uprights on this machine. And I've told that story 100 times, but I want to tell it one more time because it relates to what we're talking to now. Because I'm using this old table and I don't have angles right here on the top, I'm using these rails that I had, you know, these set a good 3-4 inches or so below what the angle was. I had to modify the uprights, and I had to make them taller, which that's still not the reason I doubled them up. But what I did is I ran a set of them, and somehow or another, you know, we all make these stupid little mistakes. I went to move the machine, and it went right across, skimmed right across the top of the set I'd just done. Well, I mean, they were pretty much useless as far as cosmetically. But what I did is I ran another set because I had to run another one anyway. And then I thought, well, instead of just throwing these in the fire pit and burn them up, I'll just laminate them and put the scarred up mark up against the other one, and you'll never know it. And that's why I have these doubled up. It's not for structure. It's not for any of that other stuff that a lot of people think. You know, they go, well, why did Dave do that? And he only gives us 2 of them. It's because I didn't want to throw them in the fire pit. I thought, well, heck, I'll just use them. Why not? You know, I had them. I already spent the time cutting them. So, but yeah, you got to watch that Z height when you go to move that machine, because nothing hurts worse than when you, especially if it's a long run. That wasn't that a long run.
Yep.
If you're doing some kind of 3D carve or something and it finishes, and man, you're not careful and you go to jog that thing.
Yeah. As often as I, whenever I CNC, I think all the different projects I've done, the only mistake or that I've ever run into in the last, I can't remember how many number of years, is forgetting where I put the spoil board, whether I put the top of the spoil board or the bottom. That's the only, because I switch from one to another. I never do the same thing, and I always set the Z height. I always remember that step, but every now and then I'll set the Z height to the top of the spoil. In fact, Patrick and I were talking about it the other day because something similar happened to him. It's I always set the Z height to the top of to where I thought I set it in the program, but every now and then, you know, since you're jumping back and forth.
See, I've never had to worry about that part of it because I generally go from the top all the time.
Right.
Regardless.
Yep.
Every once in a while I might go from the table. It just depends what I'm doing, but most of the stuff I run, it's from the top. That's
the thing. Most of the time I go from the bottom. I mean, from the top of the spoil board, but there are those occasions when I do the top, and then when I switch, I forget to switch back.
Yeah, Jim Senecola makes a good point. He says job sheets come in handy as it prints out your settings. I don't know many folks that use those. They're really a good tool. You know, when I worked full time doing programming lasers and stuff, I mean, you always had that setup sheet where people could see.
Yep. Well, I just normally click over, but I always forget to click over to the you know, you forget when you create it, and then you overlook it when you first create the new file, and then when you go to run it, you don't bother checking it, and it's that type of well, we're not all extremely OCD and detailed, so occasionally numbers get missed. So I have maybe a couple errors a year. It's not like it's that many, but when it happens, it is scary.
Since I started using a touch plate, and of course y'all have seen my touch plate, just a little piece of angle with a wire hooked to it. But since I started doing that, I have not forgotten to set the height, you know, especially too, if you do this for a really long time, like, you know, this kind of stuff I'm cutting is almost like production work. You know, you get in a habit. If you do something the same way every single time, it just becomes second nature, and you really don't even have to think about it. So, but yeah, I haven't done any major screw ups in a long time. I'm sure I will probably with that Go CNC, since that's all new stuff to me. You know, it's got a, if anybody, you know, if y'all watch the unboxing video, it has a, what they call a Go CNC USB thing. That's what I've actually been running, and it runs like plot files. What is it, HPGL or something like that, but like a plot file. And then also they included a little Arduino thing that has a G-code reader. So I haven't got into that yet. And of course, you can also hook it up with Mach 3 and UC, CNC, and all that kind of stuff as well. But I'm anxious to, well, first of all, I'm anxious to completely finish the assembly by putting that front plate on there. and then I'm anxious to get some kind of a spindle or a router or something so that I can start making some chips with the thing just to see what it'll do.
Looking forward to seeing it.
All righty. Well, we're getting close to the top of the hour here. Watching show on a cell phone, a first for me.
Yep. It's George.
I watch sometimes on a. Normally, what I do is I put mine on my TV because I have a big old TV, and then but when I put them on the TV using the YouTube app there, you just see the show. You don't see the chat. So it depends on what kind of thing it is, but usually I'll have it on my phone if I want to be in the chat. If not, if I'm just lurking around in there watching, I just watch it on TV. All right. Any other questions about anything?
I don't see any questions. Nothing in the queue. Well, Richard Kowalski asked early on in the show, when are you going to get a 50-watt laser to play with? A new bright and shiny toy.
Well, I wish I could be like some of those guys where these companies just send them this stuff for free to try it out. I mean, this Go CNC thing, like I said the other week, when they approached me about partnering with them, if it hadn't had CNC in the email, I probably wouldn't have even looked at it because I get stuff all the time and I'd usually just delete it because I'm not interested. But I really don't need any more stuff. But when I saw the Go CNC, and I actually had really never even heard of them, and after I got to checking them out, I'm like, I don't know, I kind of like this kind of neat little machine. Just watching what videos they had out, which most of them are in German, or if it's in English, it's some German speaking English, so he's got that thick accent. It's still hard to understand. But yeah, I'd love to have one of them big 60 or 80 watt lasers. I still haven't even put my my little JTech thing on my garage works out there. I just got so many irons in the fire right now. Of course, now I got a new toy that's going to distract me even more. So, Peter says, what size spindle does the Go CNC machine take? Peter, if you go look on their website, which is www.gocnc.de for Deutschland, you can see they use a Kress, Kress, and then they also have one that's I'm not even sure how to spell it. It's Proxan, I think, Proxxan or something like that. But they have one that runs on 230 and one that runs on, I assume it runs on 110.
Yeah, Proxon 2Xs.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
But they've got some videos where they're milling aluminum and it looks like it's plowing right through it without any problem, which is another reason why I said, yeah, send me one of those things. I want to take a look at this thing. So really excited to get it going. Like I said, I have really enjoyed, I won't tell too much because then there won't be no need for me to put a video out. I have really enjoyed the assembly part, putting it together just because it's something new. And, you guys get to do it all the time when you get a Gatton CNC or GarageWorks CNC, you're putting something together, but you didn't design it. When you design something, it's really easy to put together. Well, this, I had like their instruction manual is basically like IKEA. It's pictures, with numbers for the different parts and the hardware and stuff like that. Like you need 4 number 5s, and then you got to look over here on this other sheet and say, okay, a number 5 is a M4 by 12 screw or, you know, whatever. So I enjoyed putting it together. There's some things that I think I know I would have done differently, but that's just, you know, that's just me. There's probably nobody that could send me a machine that I wouldn't put it together and go, well, I'd have done that different. But because I'm a firm believer in, you know, the KISS theory, keep it simple, stupid. And there's some things that's about this that, like I said, when I put out the next video, you'll see what I'm talking about. Where could have been different. Let's see. Patrick says, Dave, what model did they send you from Go CNC? It's the Next 3D. If you're looking at their page, Patrick, and it's the S model, which basically stands for small. They got a small, medium, and a large, or an S, M, and L. And mine is the small. It is, I mean, I could pick it up easily. The whole box when it was delivered weighed 10 kilograms, which is right at 22 pounds. So it tickled me with the mailman. He backed down the driveway and he's like, yeah, I got something heavy for you in here. And I picked it up and I'm like, yeah, you guys probably think it's heavy, but you know, it's not like one of my crates. You know, wheel that around with a hand truck. But yeah, the whole thing is pretty small. But it's a really solid little machine. And you guys will see that when I start doing the video showing it cutting stuff. So there you go.
Yep. Why Not was asking where'd you buy your 3D printer. I let him know the links are in the comment section of the show.
Yeah, there's I bought it from Banggood, which is a company that I actually used the link that Ronald Walters had on his video simply because he was kind of the one that sealed the deal for me. When I watched that, and you know, because I know he bought his, he didn't, you know, he's not one of these guys where they send him a free one. And I'm always a little leery of these guys that, you know, do the reviews and stuff because I don't know.
It's a paid review.
Somebody spends their hard-earned money on something. If there's something wrong with it, you're probably gonna hear about it from them, you know.
Yeah.
Whereas they might sugarcoat it a little bit if it was free. But as I say that here, I'm going to be doing the same thing because Go CNC sent me that, and I didn't have to fork over for it. Got some kind of notifications coming up here. I see Moon Pie Creations. He was in the chat earlier, I think. Ken, you still out there?
Nathan was asking, other than portability, what pros would a Go CNC have over a Gatton? I can't see any.
There's no way I can even answer that yet because I haven't even
opened it yet.
But I can think of one right off the top of my head is with the Gatton, you buy a kit, you have to put the kit together, and you still have to buy other stuff. With a Go CNC, you order what options you want on, and it comes with everything. So it's a complete turnkey thing. It's still a DIY kit, although I think there is an option to order it assembled as well. But yeah, that's one thing right there is, you know, everything you get from them is put it together and it's ready to run. Ken Moon, how you doing, buddy? Can you hear my background music? Private joke. Do have a fan running in the background. Well, I suppose, what time is it? We're getting.
It's 9:02.
I know we started maybe a couple of minutes late. I guess we probably should do a giveaway if anybody's interested in a giveaway.
Sounds good.
We got anybody out there interested in the giveaway? Let me see. We have given away so far. How many? Let's see. We gave one away every week in April, so that's 4. How many Saturdays have we had in May so far? 2?
So far, this will be the second.
Oh, this is the second one? Okay, so this will be the 6th.
I think this is the second. It might be the third. Yeah, my bad. It's the third.
Okay, well, we've already given away 6. This will be the 7th Gatton CNC kit.
One. There you go.
Away.
Oh, yeah, I think they're all up for a giveaway.
Oh, I just got a notification that Hobby's Woodshop is going to be starting here in a little bit.
Yay! That's a beautiful thing. Yes, for those of you who are unaware, I will be doing my show is no longer on Thursdays. It's directly following this show. Maybe 10 minutes after, I'll be doing I'll have a panel on tonight. We'll be judging the contest winners from April's Useless Challenge and answering any questions you might have on CNC.
Let's see here. Let me get my timer ready. I always forget to do that. And okay, it's already set. People get extra time. Okay, so we're going to draw. I've got. Let me open up the spreadsheet here.
And for those of you who is the first time, maybe here for the first time, go to davegatton.com and click on the links to sign up. Giveaways are intermittent. You never know when they are, how many they are, how many there are each week, whether
you don't know if
1,
it'll be
2, 10, or 0.
At the end of the show. Okay, we were a little slack on entries this week. We had like 33 is what I have total.
Good odds.
I also want to say some of you guys are getting a little slack. You know, the entry form is really simple. It's, you know, your name, address, city, and state. Some folks are just putting city or whatever. And, you know, I want to know your full address, because when I get ready to ship this thing, I don't want to have to go do any work. It should already be done for me right there. So I'm not selling this list to, you know, what is it Facebook got in trouble for, selling that information or whatever. All right, so we got 33 here, which is really down. I think we've had 40 something the last couple of times. Let's see here. Remember how to do this. Okay, I've got my random.org thing up here. Okay, so if you haven't been here when I've done one of these before, you fill out the entry form. And another thing too, guys, make sure you get them to me well before the show, 3 or 4 hours before the show, because once I start coming out here to get set up, I don't check emails anymore. So if you sent one at, 15 minutes before I go live, that one ain't going to be in here. I guarantee you. You've had all week to fill them out, for crying out loud. Come on. All right, so we're going to do 1 to 33. I'll let this thing generate a random number. And then whatever number that is, we'll go to my spreadsheet, and whoever's name is parked in that spot on the spreadsheet will win them a Gatton CNC if they are watching live. And you will have 90 seconds, 1 minute and 30 seconds to respond in the chat. Hobby's going to be watching the chat. You must be watching live. And it can't be your cousin Bob watching for you. It's got to be you. I'll make that clear too. All right, let's do this. First number I'm generating tonight is number 9. So let's go to the spreadsheet over here. See who number 9 is. Okay. All right, I'm going to say the name, and then I'm going to start the clock, and you've got 90 seconds. The number 9 selection is Charles Ward. Charles Ward. You've got 90
Ward,
seconds.
W-A-R-D?
W-A-R-D. Charles Ward. He's here. Charles Ward. And I recognize that profile picture. He has kind of a unique profile picture.
Yeah.
You damn right I'm sexy, Moon Pie. Especially when I'm giving stuff away. All right, Charles Ward. I believe he probably set the record for being the quickest to respond.
Yeah, before I even started the clock.
Yeah. Well, I started it, but probably only about 10 seconds went by. Okay. So, congratulations, Charles Ward. And by the way, he's from, I hope I'm saying this right, Killeen, Texas. Good Lord. If I had a nickel for everyone I've sent to Texas, I would have a pocket full of nickels. I'm telling you. So congratulations, Charles Ward, on winning this week's Gatton CNC kit. Putting your name up here with the winner's row. Oh, there's the timer. Yeah, so you had the time beat my funny. I forgot to turn it off. All right. Any other questions before we get out of here? Questions about the giveaways or anything else? CNC routers, 3D printers. Next week, I'll be starting my new show, 3D Printing with Dave. No, I hope that I probably won't be, I won't be doing any lives or anything like that probably, but I hope that I can come up with some unique, useful things with that 3D printer, and maybe I'll do videos and share the files and stuff like that, maybe. But yeah, having a ball with that thing so far. I want to thank, like I said, Ron Cleveland for piquing my interest in that almost a year ago. After today, I think, man, I'm stupid. I should have went ahead and bought one right then. I'd have almost a year's experience. But having a ball learning it, and it's going to be fun because, I've designed 3D models, for the last 20, 25 years anyway. So that part's a no-brainer for me. So I feel like I can model some stuff that maybe some folks might not be able to, and be able to print it out. So I'm looking forward to that. All right. Anything else? Javi, you got anything?
Nope. I'm trying to see if I can put my link up real quick.
I see. Okay, I see Trevor Carter. I didn't see you earlier, Trevor. He said he got a 3D printer, I think the day before I did. And I'm trying to remember what you had, Trevor, and it escapes me right now. But you bought a different brand. As soon as you put it up there, I'll remember it. But yeah, STL, yeah. See, all that end of it, I got, Ron. TiVo Tarantula. Yeah, I knew it started with a T. TiVo Tarantula. Have you done any prints yet, Trevor?
I'll be right back.
Well, yeah, we've had a great bunch of folks. I don't know where y'all come from tonight. We had over 100 folks watching tonight, which is not completely rare, but we don't do it every Saturday. You do it every other Friday. We host Hashtag F3DPCH, where we talk about 3D printing this Friday. Oh, 10 p.m. Eastern. Oh, man, it's late. Is it recorded where I can watch it later? Is it like one of these YouTube shows or Google Hangout shows where, it becomes a video? Okay. Did you have, Trevor, I know we got to get out of here, guys. Trevor, did you have, I'm sure you probably had more assembly, because I watched some of those unboxing videos of that one as well. And I'm thinking you had a little more assembly to do than I did. Okay, you do it. I'm gonna Friday 3D printing community hangouts. Okay, on Facebook. All right, you guys probably be talking way over my head, but I'd love to check it out.
All right, I'll just click show on that one.
We need a printing G-sub group. Assembly took 7 hours. Yeah, you did have a lot more to do than I did, man. My I was done in about 30 minutes because the way they ship it in the box, it's basically two pieces pretty much. I mean, because everything's already wired with plugs, and you set the uprights down on the other frame part, put a couple screws in each side, and I mean, there's a couple more things you have to do, but it probably wasn't even 30 minutes now that I think about it. 15, 20 minutes, you're ready to fire it up, heat it up. All right, well, I'm going to get out of here. It's getting past my bedtime, and Javi's got a show to do. So I'm going to pass the baton to my buddy Javi. What was the ship time? I'm assuming you're talking about the 3D printer, Neil. I ordered it Monday afternoon from that Banggood site. That, like I said, I left the link down below, and it came Friday afternoon. The original thing, when they sent me the thing, I ordered it on Monday, and I think it was like Wednesday, or no, maybe it was late Tuesday. It might have been Wednesday. I can't remember. Anyway, by the time I got the thing saying, hey, it's shipped, it was saying that it was going to be here Monday. Well, the Banggood thing said it was going to be here Monday. If I clicked on the tracking number, DHL, they said it was going to be here Saturday, today, but it actually came yesterday. With the DHL brought it. So that's pretty quick. I was fortunate though, a lot of those guys order them and they coming from China. Mine, and one of the reasons why I pulled the trigger on that one is because they said they had a few in the warehouse in New Jersey. So that's where it came from, out of New Jersey. They may have some more. Check the link below and see. All right, Javi, you ready to go?
Yeah, I'll be starting in about 10 minutes time.
Okay. Well, don't keep them waiting long.
All righty.
They might fall asleep. So,
yeah.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Again, congratulations to Charles Ward. I'll be getting that thing in the mail. Well, I say mail. I usually ship them UPS, and I'll send you a tracking number like I do everybody. So you'll have it by the end of the week, probably for sure. Let's see, Texas. Yeah, you'll have it. You'll have it probably Thursday or Friday. So, all right. Thanks again for everybody watching. Javi, thank you for helping me watch the chat. And y'all come back next week, see if we do another giveaway. Everybody take care. Have a great weekend. And happy Mother's Day to all you moms out there.
See you next week.
Yeah, happy Mother's Day. All right, we'll see y'all. Everybody take care.